Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And today's subject matter will be the new additions to the World War II Assets Pack and their integration into combined arms. I want to see how well integrated they are, because obviously on the weekend update, which I'll show you here, there was a note about combined arms in the World War II Assets Pack. And it does say, and it makes a statement here, the following units are fully operable with the addition of 2 new tanks. Now I want to check this out because I'm not 100% convinced, because I know for a fact in a previous video I highlighted an issue with the Puma where the driver's position is below the tank, and I don't think that's changed. And I also believe that the Churchill is not fully functioning either. Now there may be others, but obviously in this video we'll find out. So join me in Sim. Right, so here we are in Sim. So let's start with the Allied vehicles first. Let's go with the M10 tank destroyer. Let's go into the pit. Yep, we have a sight, which is cool. We can rotate it and we can fire. So that's excellent. Let's go into the driver's slot. Yep, we have a driver's slot, not a problem. And if we stick it into gear, let's see if we can drive it. Yep, that's all fine. Let's go to the F7 view. Yep, all working a treat. So that's the M10 tank destroyer. No problems there. So let's try the next one. Let's go to the Centaur, the Mark IV. So let's go into there. We have a sight, which is cool. Let's fire the weapon. Yeah, that's all good. Let's go to the driver's slot. Yeah, we have a driver's slot. Let's stick it into gear and let's drive. Yeah, that's all fine. Let's have a look at F7 view. Excellent. And you'll notice that there's a machine gun on the turret there, and that's working as well. So if I go to the F1 slot and I press the alternate fire button, I can fire the machine gun from the turret. Great. So that's all working. Now, to my knowledge, I don't believe there's a gun on the main body of the tank like there is on the other vehicles. So everything appears to be working fine there. Okay, so now let's try the infantry tank, the Churchill Mark VII. Let's go into there, into drive. Again, we've got a 75mm gun sight, which is good. Let's fire the weapon. Great stuff, that works. Let's fire its secondary weapon, because this tank has a machine gun on the turret and a machine gun on the main body of the tank. So I can fire the turret gun. Brilliant. Now if I press Q, which should take me to the main body tank, main body gun, and it's not. So that is physically not working. Let's have a look at the driver's slot. Yep, that's working. Can we drive it? Let's put in gear and drive. Yep, that's working, no problem whatsoever. Let's go to the F1 view again. Let's see if we can press Q, 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 Q. Nothing, I can't get to the main body machine gun. As you can see, there is the machine gun, set there at the front, and I can't access it. So, clearly the Churchill is not, at this moment in time, fully functioning. A bit disappointing, because most of the German tanks seem to have that functionality. There seems to be a bit of a discrepancy between Allied vehicles and Axis vehicles. A bit disappointing, but hey, c'est la vie. So let's try the next vehicle. Let's go to F10, and we'll try the Greyhound. Let's go into there. And as you can see, we go straight into the Greyhound's driver's slot. And why do we do that? Because it doesn't have a gunner's slot. I'll press F1, and I'm going nowhere. We only have a driver's position. So again, this particular vehicle is not fully functioning. I don't think it said it was fully functioning in the list, but that's not the point. There's a simple lure code change that will give you that gun view, and we seem to have been given a lesser version as it currently stands with the assets pack. I'll show you what I mean. Let me go to F10. I've done a simple mod. It's the Greyhound again. I've called it the Greyhound. Let me go into that now. And as you can see, I've gone straight into a gunner's slot. I added the gunner's slot. I can go to a driver's slot, which is exactly the same, and I can go back to the gunner's slot. I can move the turret. I can fire. I haven't incorporated the sounds. I just did this to show you guys how simple it is to fix these things. So a simple bit of lure code quality control would have given us this with the asset pack launch. So it's a little bit disappointing. But hey ho, c'est la vie. So let's go back to the original. Can we drive it? I think we can. So we will go back to it, go into the driver's slot. I'm going to stick it in gear and drive forward. Again, no problems. Like I say, the only issue is we do not have a gunner slot. And to encapsulate that as well, there's also a machine gun slot on the top there. Machine gun turret. And they haven't given us that either. So, again, the Greyhound, particularly disappointing in this particular instance. Let's go and have a look at the Axis vehicles now. And because we've just done the Greyhound and encountered an issue with it, let's have a look at the Puma and the issue that we've still got with that. So we'll go into the Puma first. Again, we've got the sight view, which is fine. It fires, excellent. Let me go into the driver's slot now. Oh, bugger. There we go, right beneath the vehicle. Now I know for a fact that in that listing, this did say that it was supposed to be fully functioning. Well, obviously from a CA perspective, driving this is going to be a bloody nightmare. It's possible, so long as you like to chew grass. Now, let's go back to the F7 view. It's a shame because the models are really, really good. It's just let down in the combined arms element of it. Now, to show you that this could work if quality control was in situ. Now, don't get me wrong, the model does not have a driver's connector. But that's not the point, because you can circumvent that system, and I'll show you how I've done that. Now, I'm going to have a look at a mod that I created for the Puma. Now, you know it's a mod because it's actually on the Allied side. It's an American vehicle, which obviously it's not. Let me go into my Puma. There we go, and I've changed the sight just so you know it's a mod and it's mine that I created. So again, not an issue. The sight works, the fire, all works. Haven't incorporated the sounds. Now let me go to a driver's position. Oh, bugger me, a driver's position. Now, look, it's in the right spot, which is by this hatch, and it's perfectly usable. So if I now stick it into drive, and let's wheel away. There we go. So as you can see, it's perfectly plausible to give us these elements even when the driver's point connector is missing from the vehicle. So I would have hoped that as a temporary measure, the ED would have given us that. But again, c'est la vie, it ain't in the sim. So, but it is correctable. Easily. So again, a bit disappointing. I did make mention of this in my previous video. So I hope to God the next time round that these little things get picked up, addressed and fixed, hopefully. Because they're only tiny things, they're only small things. But they go a long way in combined arms to fixing stuff. Anyway, baby rant over. Let's move on to the next vehicles. Right, the next Axis vehicle that we'll try is the Elephant. The Elefante. So let's go into there. Great, we get a good sight. it fires perfectly well. Now I should be able to switch to the machine gun if I press Q. There we go, machine gun. This is exactly what should happen in the Churchill, but hey ho. That fires, perfect, not a problem. Let's go to the driver's slot. Yep, we have a driver's slot. Let's put it into gear, and let's see if we can drive it. Yes, we can. So, fully functioning Elefante. Let's try the next one. The Brumba artillery piece. So let's go into there. Sight, fire, Q, because it's got a machine gun. You see what I mean? The Axis vehicles, everything works. And that's exactly how the Allied vehicles should be as well. Driver's position. Yeah, we can go into a driver's position. Push it into drive. Yeah, not a problem. F7 view. Yeah, perfect. Not a problem. So the next vehicle. Let's have a look at the Searchlight 37, because you can actually access this. And there we go, it's pointing upwards. I should be able to move it all the way down. Turn it on. Can I? Yes, there we go, I've turned it on. That's the Searchlight on. So if I wanted to, I could actually pick out enemy aircraft at night. So let's go to the F7 view. There we go, that's me utilising the Searchlight. What else have we got? Let's go to the F10 menu. We'll go to the Flak 41, which unfortunately is not Combined Arms compatible as it currently stands. So it is what it is. Other vehicles do we have? We've done the Brumbar, we've done the Elephant. What do we have here? Okay, we've got the V1 ramp. Now obviously we can't access that, and it's more or less a static object, so let's have a look at it. It's a nice model, perfectly nice model, and it's going to be good when it's implemented. Now, they probably haven't written the Lua code for the ballistics for this particular weapon yet. Same with the Scud. Scud's exactly the same. But what I did, I made a little bit of a modification, and I've got it to launch, and I'll show you that at the end of the video. So that's the V1 ramp. What else do we have? Naval assets we have. So let's look at the Schnellboot S130. Now we can access this. So it's all the gunnery positions, and there are multiple gunnery positions. Here, no sounds as it currently stands. Let's go Q, anti-aircraft guns. Now, I'm not sure. I think that the view has been attached to the gun movement, so you jerk backwards and forwards. Haven't quite decided whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. That seems okay though. Let's go Q again, and we go to the larger gun on the back. No sounds again, but it is what it is. It's early access, and it certainly didn't include the Schnellboot in the fully working Combined Arms compatible scenario. Now what I had hoped is that you would be able to go to a driver's position of the boat and actually drive the boat, but you can't do that. And again, like I showed you with the Puma, if they were to put in a driver's point or just do it without a driver's point, then you would be able to physically move this boat in Combined Arms, which would be a good thing in my book. So there's an option moving forward. And like I say, if there was a driver's point by those binoculars, you'd be able to drive this darn thing. But hey, time will tell, time will tell. So let's go and have a look at the U-boat, and you can't access it in any way, shape or form, not even the guns. So I'm hoping that at some stage that's what they're considering, so we can access the anti-aircraft guns and the major gun on the back, and potentially have a viewpoint from the tower, the top of the tower. I don't think there's a periscope implemented as yet, thus far, but again, it's work in progress, so not an issue. Anyway, I did promise you that I would show you a working V1. Now, I've only used a modified file, and I understand why Ed haven't implemented it as yet. I just did this for fun, so I'll show you that working now. Now, I included the steam compressor in this. It's not currently available in Sim. And shortly, the V1 will launch. And there we go. So just a bit of fun I was having with the modification, that's all. But when this is finally done, and they've done the ballistics lure for both the Scud and the V1, I'm sure this is going to be fantastic, because I noticed there are a few more models available, and it will obviously look a lot better than I've managed to produce here. Anyway, enough of that. I hope you think you found this useful, and thanks for watching. Ciao for now.